So 27% of people plan to pass this down to their children. Is it a piece of furniture, a family recipe, or a car? So there's a high school student that helped out foster care kids in a simple way, but I think it's going to make you smile. It's so easy in this world to get distracted, but how to avoid it and increase your focus? Well, that's a way to level up your life. And great parenting advice from, hold on, let me double check this. Celebrity? No, it really is good. It's your Daily Joy Scroll. That's coming up on The Good News Show with Andy, where I'm all about putting a smile on your face and hope in your heart.
The Good News Show with Andy.
The number of the day is
27% of people plan to pass this down to their children. It is a family recipe, which is very important to keep that legacy alive. But I don't know if you think, Andy, my parents passed on an incredible legacy to me. Whether it was something they said or something they did, that's going to last longer than any amount of Grandma's cookies. Although Grandma's cookies are great too. Don't get me wrong. I'll take Grandma's cookies and her great advice. It's probably more than a recipe or just an heirloom. What is something that your parents passed on to you?
Just thinking of my dad, as I would leave for school as a young child and even as a teenager, I'd lock up the door and he'd say, honey, remember who's walking with you. And he said that so often and so many times during life. I would remember that, and then I passed that on and said that to my kids when they went to school. And it's just so comforting because I did remember who was walking with me many, many times when I needed to.
It seems like your kids never listen, but they hear more than you think.
My dad always told me, to speak the truth and the truth will set you free, and that's always been true and always saved a lot of trouble ahead.
Yeah, I just think about how much time and energy I could save if I just was honest right at the very beginning.
That's correct. Then it avoids having to tell a lie which leads to another lie which leads to another lie.
I hope this story makes you smile today.
The biggest difference between kids and adults is adults will look at problems in the world and shrug their shoulders and think, there's nothing I can do. And kids will say, well, what if we try? One of those kids, his name is Hunter. And when he found out that foster kids at his school move from family to family with all their possessions in trash bags, he thought, I want to give them more dignity. So he used his Eagle Scout project to donate 100 bags. But then he realized, boy, that's not enough. So he teamed up with a company and got some help from his community and donated over 27,000 bags given to foster kids in his home state of Texas and beyond. That's 27,000 kids that will have a brighter future because one kid decided to make a difference.
It's Andy's awkward situation.
Oh, this is awkward, isn't it?
If you're new here, welcome. Just I'm the king of awkward. And if you have a situation you're not quite sure how to handle, I can try to help. And I know the listening family's going to help out too. Mira says, Andy, my boss often criticizes my work and it's affecting my confidence. What do I do? Well, Mira, what's helped me in a job where I have to be creative a lot and people, will critique what I have to say and do is know that there is a difference between me and the things that I create, the art I create. And it's the same for you. You are not your email. You are not your presentation. That is not you. So if you can separate the two, that makes it a little easier. And you've gone through some tough critiques lately. What's helped you?
Andy, what I have to tell you is God allowed this for a reason. And I might be the scapegoat, I might be, but I have two things that I need to do is I need to prove that I am competent, I am able to do the job, and that's what I was accused of not doing. And then the other thing is I really want to do is make sure this doesn't happen to someone else.
That's a good point. You might be in a tough work situation, and you might be thinking, God, why am I still here? And it might be to show grace to your coworkers that you aren't getting yourself.
It's Andy's awkward situation.
Oh, this is awkward, isn't it?
Thanks for giving some advice to Mira, who says, my boss criticizes my work. It's affecting my confidence.
If you're in a negative environment, one of the things to strive to is to work on communicating directly with the people that need the message instead of going around or gossiping or just not even saying something. But direct communication versus indirect communication and doing it in a way that's honest versus withholding information or distorting information. You know how some people will sort of tell you part of the story, but not the whole story. and then what actions you think could help. And I think that's important, is not just to sort of complain about something, but maybe give suggestions about what could make things better.
Here's how to avoid distraction and increase focus. It's a way to level up your life. It starts by getting your to-do list out of your head. So that means writing everything down that you're thinking about. You think, oh man, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Get it all onto a piece of paper or your phone or something. That clears your mind and increases your focus. By getting it somewhere else other than in your head, you're giving yourself permission not to think about it until it's time to do it. Wouldn't that be nice? If someone's ever told you, hey, your problems right now, it's all right, God won't give you more than you can handle, and you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Here's some good news for you. What that friend said to you, that's not in the Bible. It's actually kind of the opposite. Over and over again, there's stories in the Bible where people faced overwhelming circumstances that they couldn't accomplish, they couldn't get past on their own, and it was God that got them through it. As a matter of fact, it says in the Bible that God's power is made perfect in our weakness. So if you feel like you can't get over that next hurdle in your life, it's okay. You can trust God and know that you don't have to do it alone. He'll do it for you.
Thank you so much for sharing that God won't give you more than you can bear. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, is when I see that or hear that, because the Bible is full of stories of people being given more than they can carry. The point is that God will be there to help you carry it.
Yeah, he's in the lifeboat with you.
Exactly.
Usually you wouldn't want to take parenting advice from a celebrity, but I'll give an exception to what Ben Affleck said to his son after he tried to convince dad to buy him $6,000 shoes.
What are you going to do, mow lawns? Like, you got $6,000? He's like, we have the money. I was like, I have the money. You're broke. Listen, you love your kids. You want to give them everything and do everything for them, but I think you definitely do them a disservice by, like, not connecting. You want something meaningful that you want.
Yeah.
You have to work.
Here's today's Hope Highlight.
It's a gift you can open every single day. It doesn't have to be your birthday or Christmas. Bible says this, for by grace you've been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It's the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one can boast. That gift of grace, it's beautiful, and we can't earn it. So we have two options. We can either be really thankful for it, or sometimes I feel really guilty about it. And we don't have to. We don't have to feel guilty about what God has given us. We can just be filled with gratitude. Just so you know, my prayer and belief for you is that God's going to open doors, break chains, and move mountains in your life. And when it happens, let me know.
I did something to my back, and I was in excruciating pain. I went to the chiro. As I'm sitting there, I'm getting more and more cold, and I'm turning blue, and he says, you need to go to the ER right now. So I walked out to my van to get my stuff and wait for my mom to come get me. I turned on my van, put the heat on me, and started to pray. God, I don't know what's wrong, but heal me now. And I woke up about half an hour later, and I was warm. I wasn't tingling anymore. I was still in pain, so I called the chiro back. He said, you know, I just had a cancellation. And when I got in there, I said, this is amazing that you have this appointment. I said, I was literally just praying before I fell asleep. What am I going to do? God, heal me. I don't know what's going on. And he said, I literally did the same thing when you walked out of here. It's only God that everything lined up this morning.
If you get overwhelmed with everything you should be doing, you think, I don't even know where to start. What do I do, Andy? Well, Drew Dyke has this great book for you. It's called Just Show Up. And he talks about what showing up actually looks like.
There's a literal kind of meaning to it, and that is being present, physically present, preferably, for the people in your life, the people that God's called you to be with. That's a hard thing to do these days because of phones, because we're so digitally connected. But then there's something kind of bigger than that too, where it's just like you're just moving through life with a commitment to do the next thing that you feel God's calling you to do. That next little step, not some big heroic thing where it's like, okay, I want to be an X. Just like, okay, God, what do you want me to do today? And for me, it's become kind of a mantra, just like, hey, Drew, you're tired, you're discouraged, whatever. Just show up. Just do the next thing in front of you. It's just been something that I've repeated to myself, and I'm trying to encourage other people to do as well.
I love that. God, what would you have me do today? Not tomorrow, not a week from now, today. I bet if you ask, he'll show you. If you ever go to New York City, there's two things that's really interesting. First off, your neck's gonna hurt. I was surprised by this, by how, when you look at all the buildings and how tall they are, they're just huge. And then when you go into the subways, sometimes you hear this music just kind of echoing throughout the halls. There's street musicians there, and it's really cool. And the other day, there was a violinist that was playing in a subway, and a handful of people stopped, a few people clapped, and the violinist got $30 in his case. No one knew this, but that violinist was Joshua Bell, one of the best musicians in the world. In that subway, Joshua played one of the most intricate pieces ever written with a violin that was worth, get this, $3.5 million. 2 days before he played in that subway, he sold out a Boston theater, and the seats averaged at $100 per person. This just goes to show that the extraordinary in an ordinary environment doesn't shine, and sometimes is overlooked and undervalued. It's the same case for you. You are a brilliantly talented person. God has given you unique gifts that only you have. And maybe right now you're not receiving the recognition and the reward you deserve. But once you arm yourself with value and confidence, and maybe remove yourself from an environment that's not serving you, then you can thrive and grow. And it all starts when you know your worth.